Laughter. It's one of the most universal and honestly weirdest things we do. It's this behavior that connects all of us, but we almost never stop and think about it. So today, let's actually break down the real science behind why we laugh. I want you to think about the last time you just completely lost it. I mean, the kind of laugh where your stomach hurts, you've got tears streaming down your face, and you're literally fighting for breath. What is going on inside our bodies to cause such a crazy, overwhelming reaction, often to something as simple as a silly joke? Well, the answer isn't so simple, because laughter isn't just one thing. It's actually this powerful combo platter of phenomena. It's a deep biological reflex that's hardwired into our brains. It's one of the oldest social signals we have, and as we're about to see, it's a super important survival tool that helped our ancestors make it. Okay, let's dive into the biology first, because at its core, that gut-busting, can't-breathe laugh is a completely involuntary physical event. It's not something you can just decide to do, right? Not the real thing, anyway. Scientists have a name for this genuine, uncontrollable laughter. They call it Duchenne laughter. It's this involuntary spasm that puts a ton of strain on your muscles. It's not just a little exhale, it's a full-on body workout. And I'm sure you've noticed it's incredibly contagious. You see or hear someone else in a real fit of laughter, and you just can't help but join in, even if you have no idea what's so funny. So how does it all start? It's an amazingly fast, reflexive process. First, your brain sees something totally unexpected. A punchline you didn't see coming, someone tripping over nothing, but, and this is the important part, it instantly knows that surprise is not a threat. That signal zaps the limbic system, the emotional center of your brain, which immediately opens the floodgates for this powerful cocktail of neurochemicals. And that chemical flood? That's a reward. Our brains are literally built to make laughing feel fantastic, which just encourages us to do it more and more. It's this self-reinforcing loop that's built right into our wiring. So what's in this magic chemical cocktail? Well, the two big headliners are endorphins and dopamine. We can actually see this on PET scans. When we laugh, our brain releases these things called endogenous opioids. That's basically our body's own natural painkillers. They create this warm, slightly euphoric feeling. And at the exact same time, we get a shot of dopamine, the classic pleasure chemical. This is the biological payday that makes laughing feel so good. Now, that chemical reward isn't just for kicks. Nope, it serves a really deep evolutionary purpose. Let's jump to our next section and see how laughter became humanity's very first social network, way, way before we ever had language. To really get laughter's role, we can just look at our primate cousins. You know how they form social bonds? They groom each other. But grooming, it's got some serious drawbacks. It's a one-on-one deal, and it takes forever. Laughter, though, is what some scientists call vocal grooming. It lets one person groom a bunch of people all at once, super efficiently, even from across a clearing. And this gives you a sense of the massive evolutionary advantage. Research suggests that laughter kicks off that endorphin-fueled bonding feeling in about 3 times as many people as primate grooming can in the same amount of time. That's a huge upgrade in social tech. And if we look at the fossil record, we can kind of pinpoint when this upgrade became totally necessary. Our earlier ancestors, the Australopithecines, they lived in small groups, so physical grooming worked fine. But then, around 2.5 million years ago, early Homos started living in much larger groups, in much more dangerous places. They needed a better, faster way to keep everyone together to survive. Laughter was the answer. It filled that gap until even more complex tools like music and language came along way later. Okay, so we know how laughter bonds us, but what actually makes it happen? What's the basic formula for a joke that flips that switch in our brains? Believe it or not, it really boils down to this one simple but really powerful formula. Humor happens when our brain expects one thing to happen, but then something completely different happens instead. It's a violation of our expectations. But, and this is everything, the outcome has to be safe. A tiger jumping out from behind a bush is definitely a surprise, but it is not safe. Your friend jumping out from a bush in a tiger costume, now that's surprise plus safety, and that equals laughter. And this formula works for pretty much every kind of humor. A pun messes with what you expect a word to mean. Slapstick is funny because you see someone fall, but you know they aren't really hurt. Awkward moments are funny because social rules get broken, but there's no real damage done. They're all just different flavors of creating a safe surprise for your brain. Okay, but what about this?
Have you ever found yourself laughing at a really serious moment, like at a funeral or in the middle of a tense argument? It feels totally wrong, right? But your brain is actually doing something incredibly smart. It's using laughter for one of its most important jobs.
And this brings us to laughter's final and maybe its most amazing function. It's not just for jokes, it's a seriously powerful tool for managing our own internal state. It's kind of like a superpower. This is what's known as the pressure valve theory. In really high-stress situations, our bodies get flooded with all of this nervous energy. Laughter provides a physical, actual release for all that tension. It's your brain's way of hitting the reset button, of calming you down and basically saying, hey, I know this is tense, but you're going to be okay. And we've got the data to prove it. In some studies, they had one group watch comedy clips and another group watch a boring documentary. Afterwards, the group that laughed showed a huge increase in their ability to tolerate pain. The control group, no change. That is the endorphin system in action. The same chemicals that help us bond also make us tougher. So when you add it all up, laughter is anything but trivial. It's this incredibly sophisticated survival toolkit that we all carry around. It's our built-in stress reliever, our most ancient social glue, a natural painkiller, and a powerful internal reward system, all rolled into one amazing package. And when you look at all this evidence together, it just forces you to see laughter in a totally new way. It isn't just a passive reaction to something funny. It's an active, biological process of reaching out and literally connecting with the people around you. And really, this is what it all comes down to. When we laugh with other people, we are sending and receiving the most basic and important social signal there is. We are safe here. We belong. We are on the same team. It's a biological command, an evolutionary gift, and one of the best tools we have for building a better, more connected life. So the only real question left is, what are you going to laugh about today?